Sure, thank you. Mr. Manneh.
Yes, sir.
So, I think I had asked you whether the
Yeah.
CEO
Yeah.
gave authorization for these spendings.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. Let me continue from
Okay.
where I stopped.
All right.
Okay. When need arise, like example, we have council general meeting, or else we have visitors from ministry and other possible stakeholders. You know, we incur expenditures like we provide their food, accommodation, you know, and transport fare refund to councillors. When there is no cash, sometimes we make a request from the revenue collectors upon CEO's approval.
So CEO approves. Does he give this approval in writing, or is it a verbal approval?
No, it's a verbal approval. You call them. We prepare the voucher. He called them to bring the exact amount of cash that we need to spend.
And has this been the case for all the CEOs that you have worked under at Janjanbureh Area Council?
Anyway, you know, the case of councils sometimes is not easy to elaborate, because
yes.
I work with Kerawan Area Council, I work with Masokongo Area Council, but all these councils that I passed through, the rural councils that I said, because that of the city councils I cannot explain anything pertinent to that.
Please, Mr. Manneh, speak into the phone. Can you lean forward when you are speaking so that we get exactly what you're saying?
In rural councils, Kerawan Area Council, Janjanbureh Area Council, during my time with them, the same, the chief executive officers, they become everything in the council. They are the procurement officers, they are the directors, they do everything for council.
So
despite the department heads, they do all their responsibilities.
So that's what I'm asking. Is this the case for all the CEOs that you have worked under?
Yes.
Okay, so all of them.
They are all like that.
Okay.
They are all did the same.
So let's go back to your intervention issue. The Ministry of Lands wrote back to you, or rather wrote back to the CEO of Janjanbureh Area Council on the 9th of January 2023. And they have said that it has come to the attention of this ministry that your office is reluctant to continue authorized payment of tuition fee for your finance manager, Mr. Bubacarr Manneh, even though several attempts were made by him for such authorization to be made. This ministry is under the impression that Mr. Bubacarr Manneh is on a study leave with salary, endorsed and approved through the execution of a binding legal document. Importantly, so a bond is a legal, binding, and enforceable document which imposes legal obligations on parties that subscribe to it. Thus, neither your office nor Mr. Manneh may conveniently alter the bond to evade a contractual obligation. We're therefore asking your office to furnish the ministry with an explanation as to the reason for your office's reluctance to continue payment of Mr. Bubacarr Manneh's tuition fee as agreed by the bond document. So that this letter was written in January of 2023.
Yes.
So as at that date, they still had not paid your fees?
No, they are paid now.
They've paid now?
Yeah, they paid.
When
now.
did they pay?
Pardon?
When did they pay the fees?
Since when the ministry intervened, like when they wrote this letter to him, they told him to write and explain why he don't want to pay my tuition fee, that which he did. And finally they authorized him to continue paying my tuition fee.
So who was the CEO at that time? January
Past
2023? It was still past it, you said? Okay, so I'm going to ask about this letter that you wrote called Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Now, you have raised several issues in that letter. It's a letter dated 28th of May 2019. And it is addressed to all the revenue collectors. It is copied to the Governor CRR, to the councillors, to the Director of Governance. And you're saying that I'm just going to read a few paragraphs and then ask you some questions. I am hereby informing you that nobody is authorized to give money to the chairman, Ibrahim Jankosane, to buy fuel. The vehicle can be fueled at the petrol station, but not to give him cash to buy fuel for himself.
Yeah.
The chairman has always requested money from collectors whensoever he needs fuel to his vehicle, which is undone. Last time, he said Idrissa Manneh should give him 100 liters of fuel, and it has to be cash, otherwise he will not take the fuel. and I authorize him not to give him a single butut. So does the chairman, Ibrahim Jankosane, did he have a fuel allocation, monthly fuel allocation?
Yes. That of fuel, the acquisition of fuel during the period, and we have a legal agreement with JA Oil.
Okay.
JA Oil used to supply us fuel, so we introduced a coupon.
Okay. Okay, so you used to have coupons?
Yeah, we introduced a coupon for ourselves,
okay,
which the CEO himself was a signatory, Samali, and the procurement officer. So we were on that, we were maintaining that system for quite a long time. There was a time when JA Oil owed us around very near 200,000. So like the seller at JA Oil at Bansa, stopped our fuel request. He said we have to pay the credit.
He said you have to pay what?
We have to pay his debt. That's the amount he owed.
Okay, you pay each time instead of the coupon.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this was during that time, before we effect the payment, we need to supply the tractor, the CEO's vehicle, the chairman's vehicle. So these two cases are mainly decided by the chief executive officer.
So what I'm asking is, how much was the chairman allocated as fuel allocation for a month?
Well, I cannot say that for certain, but the CEO can. I think my CEO can explain that, because he was responsible for all fuel requisition.
So didn't you have a specific allocation for chairman, for CEO, for director of finance? Did you not have an allocation and how much they should get in a month?
No, we don't have that.
Was everybody just allocated fuel as they needed?
Only if they need fuel, we allocate fuel to them. And the fuel requisition was in the hand of the CEO.
The fuel requisition was in the hand of the CEO?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is it that you couldn't pay JA Oil?
JA Oil, anyway, during that time, we were bankrupt, that we don't have enough money. So we cannot withdraw salary, we cannot withdraw cash, that we budgeted for salary to pay his debt. So this was the reason why we were unable to pay him.
Okay. So did the chairman also have transport allowance? He was paid transport allowance, right?
Yeah, he got transport.
So it was transport allowance and also fuel allocation on top?
Yes.
Okay. And so if I continue with the letter, you're saying Bansang Market is working for him and the chief executive officer. They spend money at their level without notifying me as the director of finance. The market manager, Fatoumata Jobate, collected revenue and spent it together with the chairman and the CEO without notifying me as the officer in charge of all council payments. The market manager is working for them and their daily expenditures come from the market. Now, when you're talking about their daily expenditures, what expenditures are you talking about?
Yeah, this was a time when, it was very hard for me to effect, a control system in place, especially the revenue collectors at Bansang area. The CEO, Sambali, lives in Bansang together with the chairman. So always when the revenue collectors, they come for submission, they came with a lot of commitments, which, the procurement officer, was never informed, and I was never informed of those payments. So I decided to go to the CEO, advise him, that we continue allowing the revenue collectors to deposit cash to bank, as we agree on. So, the system was not stopped. He continued dealing with revenue collectors. So there I wrote this letter. So when I wrote this letter, I wanted to send it to ministry. So I said, let me first visit the governor and explain the matter to him and give him his copy. So when I gave him his copy, he read. He said, you can leave the letter here, but don't circulate it. I will call the chairman, the councillors, and the CEO himself. Then we chat over the issue, which he did.
Okay, so you never sent the letter to the ministry?
No.
Okay, so it only remained within the council and the governor?
Exactly, but that way, the day he's supposed to have the meeting with the councillors and the chairman himself, together with the CEO, it connected with, the ministry's visit, the director of governance. By then, Fatu Jiba was there as director of governance, together with public finance director, I think it's Fatu Jai, their visit to Janjanbureh. So they all sat over the issue together. So after that, the director of governance, Fatoumata Jiba, advised me, to desist from writing, against my CEO. Let me accept his decision and work under him amicably. He is the officer in charge of responding to the audit query. So whatsoever he told me, I should comply with that.
So this is the advice that you received from the Director of Governance of the Ministry of Lands?
Yes.
That you should not write a letter castigating your CEO?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
And the Director of Governance is in charge of the councils to make sure that all of you are complying with the laws of, the Local Government Act?
Yes.
All right. Now, let me ask you about NAOSU stroke EC? Do you know what that is?
Pardon?
NAOSU stroke EC.
NAO?
SU stroke EC. Let me read what you said. So you said the chairman mismanages.
NAOSU.
Okay.
Exactly. NAOSU.
So what is NAOSU?
NAOSU. This was is an organization. They is organization, I think, supported by EC. They said they have a fund for Janjanbureh Area Council, to sensitize, cleaning exercise services, to sensitize the community, especially on market, to adopt the cleaning exercise. So this fund was given to us, to make that sensitization.
So how did the council come to know, or how did NAOSU come to know about the council?
Who? The guys who did that.
The who?
NAOSU, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, their finance controller was my colleague at Keron Area Council called Molavin Samate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he knew that I'm at Janjanbureh, so he got that allocation in their budget. So he decided to choose Janjanbureh, and give us that fund.
So the fund, was it in cash?
Yes, it was paid to bank.
It was paid to your account?
Yeah, it was paid to.
Do you know how much it was?
I think it was, I can't directly remember, but it was paid to FI. I think it's the only payment that we made at FIB.
To the council's FIB account?
We reported that we operate in 4 banks.
Yes, and one of them is FIB.
The fifth one was FIB. That's how we created that FIB account.
Okay, so this particular portion of your letter, it says that the chairman mismanages the fund from NAOSU EC on sensitization of waste management, took all the food provisions and denied his own councillors. The food provision during the sensitization program was all spent by him at councillors' ward level without considering them. So can you explain to us what you mean by this?
Yes, this was unanimously agreed by the councillors themselves.
As in the general council?
Exactly, the general council, that the fund, when using the fund, they have to, apportion the fund, between the wards.
Okay.
So each ward, each councillor, they give you your own fund. You prepare food for the visitors, and other expenditures that need to be incurred. But he refused to do that. He carried all the fund, spent it at all councils ward level, without in fact including the ward councillor.
So did he actually spend the money on the council, on the different wards?
Yes, he spent it on the activity of waste management, sensitization. But by right, each ward should be given an impress.
Should be given a what?
An impress. That's how we decided.
An impress.
Like each ward in his council, like each council, at his various ward level, should be given an impress, so as to, sensitize the community, to gather at possible at a, at a catch-up area where we can find them and make those sensitization. So he directly hold the money and spend it by his own without doing that.
So was there any payment voucher before that? Actually, the FIB account, whose name was it in?
FIB.
Sorry, who were the signatories?
Yes,
was it not you and him?
I'm a signatory together with the chief executive officer, Mr. Samali.
Yes. So how did he get the money? Did you not cash?
We withdraw it. We withdrew
You withdrew it together and then gave it to him.
And gave it to them.
Okay. So why did you give it to him, if it was supposed to go to the various wards?
He's an authority from the CEO. He authorized me to give him the phone to carry on with the process, the exercise.
And this is even though the General Council had passed a resolution to say that, you should share it according to wards. So do you have any proof that he actually spent that money the way he was supposed to?
Yeah, I think after spending it, we retired the copy of the vouchers. We retired it to NAUSU.
So you signed the vouchers as well?
Yes.
So what were the supporting documents for those vouchers?
The supporting documents were the request, claim, and the food provision we provided.
So did you have receipts for the food provision that you purchased?
Yes, for the participants.
You had all of those?
Yes.
Okay. Was the procurement officer involved at all?
No, the procurement officer was never involved in procuring like materials and the like. The procurement officer during our time was used as a secretary. That's Maria Tukante. To be frankly, Maria Tukante was not doing his job. Maria Tukante was denied from emphasizing his duties. The CEO was doing everything.
And in 2019, who was the CEO? Was it Passet? Or
the same one, somebody.
The same Passet. Okay. Let me just ask you, Fatmata Jabate, did she start working at the council before you, or did you start before her?
Fatumata, I found him there.
You found her there?
Yeah, I found him there.
She was the market manager?
Yeah, market manager.
Okay. So why did you say that she worked for the CEO and the chairman? Do they have...
That of the case of the case of Fatu, I wrote many circulars, to condemn them from allocating money to an individual officer.
Okay.
Any money they collected, let them pay it to Reliance Bank because it is near to them. If you cannot go to Guarantee Trust, they said they said that's far. So we open Reliance account. So if you make collection, please you make sure you deposit all your revenue to Reliance Bank. So this is the instruction that we give all the revenue collectors. So any revenue collector who failed to do it, if you come with commitment, sometimes you give verbal commitment to verbal authorization to them. So when
if you give Fatumata documents, what?
Pardon?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said sometimes he gives verbal authority to them. Like they spend money verbally, he give them verbal authorization. So when they come, I direct them directly to the CEO. To go and approve, to take the vouchers to the CEO to approve it, because otherwise I don't draw the sheet. But there was a time, in fact, a collector that is his own son. He did the same issue. I wrote many circulars. I cannot stop him. Anything that he collected, he spent it all.
Yes, because you said in your statement that at times, revenue collectors are authorized to bring cash in the office, which is mostly spent on council activities such as food and refreshment, during council general meetings and also accommodation, and food for some visiting officials from the ministry. Sometimes CEO authorized collectors through my office to spend revenues on council operations, which I later reconciled with collectors regarding such expenditure. At times, CEO carries out direct spending of council funds on council operations without involving my office and the procurement department. So do you have any official letters that you have written about this, about the CEO spending from the council funds?
Yeah, I have official letter that I wrote. That's why I, in fact, brought this acknowledgement letter. But
yes, but that acknowledgement letter was not sent to the ministry.
It was not sent to the CEO.
Do you have any other ones that were sent?
Yeah, I'm coming. The fact of the matter is, the director of finance, whom I handed over to,
Alaji Manneh?
Alaji Manneh.
Okay.
We were, when our office was under construction, we were at governor's office. Okay. All the instructed documents, like the files, the vouchers, and other instructed documents, we are all handed over to him. But when the construction was completed, they moved from governor's premises to our own quarters, to our own premises. That's
to the council premises?
That's our own office.
Okay.
So when they moved to the main office, he dumped all the vouchers, these entrusted document files under the veranda.
They dumped them where?
I said he placed the vouchers, the entrusted document, vouchers and other entrusted document files, he placed them under the veranda.
On the veranda?
Under the veranda.
Okay.
And even, I told him, I said, even the vouchers audited, they have retention period. You have to keep them, till the end of the retention period. Neither the vouchers not yet audited. So when I called ED, I asked him the files. He said, in fact, since you left, since we moved from governor's office to our own premises, the vouchers, the documents were all packed under the veranda. So this was why we were unable to.
The vouchers and the documents were brought back to where?
Under the veranda.
So what happened to those documents?
On top of the table.
So where are those documents?
Nobody can see them now. If you go, you don't see any documents. The files are no more there, and other entrusted documents. You cannot see them.
And did the CEO or the council query this issue? Did they make it an issue? The lost documents?
The lost document?
Yes.
Anyway, only when the auditors, when the audit exercise arrives, the auditors were complaining that there are missing vouchers among the vouchers, which they don't see.
Yes.
They quoted, in fact, they quoted the missing vouchers in their audit report. And all the entrusted documents and the vouchers were physically handed over, to Alaji Manneh during our period.
And Alaji Manneh cannot find those documents?
Yes. Alaji refused to safeguard the documents and place them under the veranda.
So, in your statement, you said that on the issue of ghost staff in the payroll, I am not aware of this issue during my time as Director of Finance. However, according to the 2019 payroll, there are a number of people who were appointed by CEO Samba M.K. Lee without being budgeted. Who are these people?
Yeah, there are head laborers.
There are what?
Head laborers, head cleaners, head laborers.
Cleaners?
Yeah, there are head laborers that he appointed.
Health laborers?
Head laborers.
Okay.
And they are not incorporated in our payroll. So I don't in fact capture them in the current vouchers, like the current vouchers that we use for salary payment. So we draw OC voucher. We prepare OC voucher to pay their allowances.
What's OC voucher?
Pardon?
What is OC voucher?
OC is order payment voucher.
Okay, so they're not, their payments don't,
like
the vouchers for their payments are not salary vouchers.
Okay, they are not included in the
payroll.
So the current voucher, narrate only those included in the payroll.
So would the heading for that payment be under sundry entries or something like that?
Yes, we just prepare a voucher, like he gave them the rate, the rate we're supposed to pay them. So we prepare OC voucher, they sign, we pay them their allowance.
Do you know the grade that they're under?
The grade varies because we got a complaint in fact from cleaners. They said, there are cleaners working for more than 5-6 years, and he appointed new cleaners, and those new cleaners are paid more than the old staff. The old staff, like the old cleaners, they found. So at the end of the period, the cleaners, they complained that, we appointed new employees and they are paid more than them. So I told them that's not my domain. You can go to the CEO who is in charge of appointment. You can lodge your complaint to the CEO. So when they lodge their complaint, they said the CEO said he's going to settle it, like he's going to, arrest the situation. But till we left, nothing was done.
So all those cleaners that the CEO appointed, were they necessary?
Anyway, that of the cleaners is necessary, because cleaners, sometimes we have these old guys.
You have what?
We have all, like the cleaners at Bansang and Brikamaba. Most of them are old.
They're old.
They are old, yeah.
Okay.
So and we need youngsters so that they can be with us, quite a long. So he decided to have, I think, 3 health laborers at Bansang, one at Brikamaba. So these were the 4 that he employed temporarily. We were paying them.
So do you know why he employed them even though they were not in the budget?
Pardon?
Do you know why he employed them even though they were not catered for in the budget?
Anyway, that of those at Bansang, he identified them together with the resident collector over there.
Together with the what?
I said he identified the guys.
Okay.
Together with the resident collector at Bansang during the period. That is
who was the resident collector?
Lamin Balde was the resident collector at Bansang. So they brought in those temporal staff.
How many new staff were those?
I think it was 4.
4?
It was 4.
Okay. Okay, so you said that as Director of Finance, I was aware of the fact that the former chairman, Ibrahim Janko Sane, was sick, yet he reports to work regularly. On that basis, council was paying him all the allowances and other benefits. Now, are you saying that he was sick, but he was still coming to work?
Yeah, I know that of Ibrahim Janko Sisi. He was sick well before we left, but by then, he was not that much. It doesn't affect him that much. So he used to come sometimes for work. When he closed, he go back. But
so like how many days in the week did he come to work?
Anyway, during our time, he usually come. This happens.
During your time, he what?
Actually, during our time, he usually come for work. This happened in 2021 onwards, when he was seriously sick and he don't come.
And he didn't come for 15 months.
Yeah,
did you hear about that?
2021 onwards. That was the time of Pasisi and Alaji.
But you were still at the council at that time?
Yeah, I'm still with them.
Yeah, so
I'm still with them.
there are reports that he did not go to work for 15 months whilst he was sick.
Yeah, for that I can't say anything on that, because that was not my time.
That was not your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the same Ibrahim Janko Sane wrote a letter complaining about you and, is it Sambali?
Sambali.
Yes. So I'll just read extracts of that letter. It's a letter dated the 25th of February 2020. So he started by saying that the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Samba M.K. Lee, and the Finance Director, Bubacarr Manneh, of Janjanbureh Area Council have not been much help to the council in terms of its services to taxpayers, and therefore it is suggested for them to be replaced. So he goes on and he said that the activities performed by the 2 officers which has led to the writing of this letter are, and he enumerates the issues. So the first one, he said that the CEO has appointed 2 of his own children as revenue collectors and other family members in other positions without contacting the councillors for their reaction, and even when he was written a letter to withdraw them, he refused to do so. They are still part of the workforce. Can you tell us which staff these are?
Yes, these were Amadou. The other guy is Amadou Lee, who is his own son, together with Mamadou Lee.
Together with who?
Mamadou Lee. Mamadou Lee.
So who are the other family members that he employed?
They are advanced. They are among the cleaners.
So
I
those
think-
cleaners that we just talked about,
Yes, that's the cleaners I'm talking about.
all four of them?
Yeah, it's almost, yeah, four of them.
All four of them are his relatives.
And two market collectors also.
Which are his relatives? Which ones are those?
Two market collectors.
What are the names of the market collectors he
The
employed?
market collector, I think the other one is Kadi Sani, I think. Well, I forgot their name, but I think the other guy is Kadi, who was posted at Brikamaba later on. And the other collector is
So we'll allow you to take some time and remember the names of the market collectors and the four cleaners, and then we'll ask you after the break if you can recall. So just note that down, please. So Mamadou Ly, he joined the council in 2018.
2018.
Yes, and he joined as a revenue collector.
Yes.
Then he was sent to do some trainings,
Yeah.
and he was appointed procurement assistant.
Procurement officer.
Now, you've had staff that are revenue collectors for several years without being promoted. Is that right?
Pardon?
You've had staff at Janjanbureh Area Council that have been revenue collectors for several years without being promoted.
Yes, that do happen.
But then his child is employed, and within a couple of years, he's promoted.
Yes.
Did anybody raise this issue?
Yes, sometimes the revenue collector, they sometimes come with the issue. They say they have been working, especially, I could remember one, what is his name again? Mr. Jallo, who was a revenue collector. He said he started together with other collectors which were promoted, and he is not promoted to senior revenue collector.
Okay.
So
I believe
I authorized him to go to the CEO and complete lodge his complaint.
Please speak into the microphone,
So
Mr. Manneh.
that do happen.
it's happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it's time for the break.
Yes, I'm just been told that GRTS is going on break at 1 for the signal. So it's a convenient point to stop. We will come back after the break. We may rise.